You've always been so ordinary. That's what my sister whispered when she handed me the bridesmaid dress. Size 16, I'm a size 8. The fitting room smelled like expensive perfume and something sour underneath, like fruit left too long in the sun. I looked at the dress, then at her face, waiting for the punchline. She wasn't joking. Just wear Spanx or something, she said, already turning away. Nobody's really looking at you anyway. I stood there holding polyester that would never fit, watching her blonde hair disappear around the corner. The seamstress touched my shoulder. Honey, do you want me to order your actual size? I shook my head, because I just realized something that made my hands go cold. This wasn't a mistake. This was the beginning. My name is Harper Mitchell. I'm 29, a graphic designer living in Portland, and until 3 months ago, I thought my sister Emma loved me. We weren't close, not the way people imagine sisters should be, but we were family. She was the golden one, tall and confident with that easy laugh that made strangers feel chosen. I was the quiet one, the one who fixed things behind the scenes and never asked for credit. Our parents had always made it clear that Emma was the son and I was, well, somewhere in orbit. Her engagement to Marcus happened fast. A whirlwind romance that filled our family group chat with champagne emojis and wedding venue photos. When she asked me to be a bridesmaid, I cried. Finally, I thought. Finally, she sees me. But as the wedding approached, small things started piling up. She forgot to include me in the bachelorette party planning. My name was misspelled on the bridal party introduction cards. And then came the dress. The wedding was set for June at a vineyard outside the city. The kind of place that looked like it belonged in a magazine. Everything was curated, perfect, expensive. Emma had spent 18 months planning every detail, and she made sure everyone knew it. At the final bridesmaid meeting 2 weeks before the wedding, we gathered in her pristine living room. All white furniture and glass tables that felt like a dare. She handed out gift bags, custom robes with our names embroidered in gold thread. I pulled mine out last. The embroidery read Harper M. All the others had full first and last names. When I looked up, Emma was already explaining the wedding day timeline, her voice bright and controlled. I caught the eye of Jessica, another bridesmaid. She looked away quickly. The rehearsal dinner was worse, held at a downtown restaurant with low lighting and waiters who moved like ghosts. The room buzzed with champagne and laughter. Emma stood at the head of the table in a white rehearsal dress that probably cost more than my rent. She raised her glass. I just want to thank everyone who made this possible, she said, her voice carrying over the noise. She thanked Marcus. She thanked his parents. She thanked the wedding planner, the florist, even the photographer who wasn't there yet. She didn't thank me. Not once. When she sat down, I leaned over. You forgot someone, I said quietly. She sipped her champagne, eyes glittering. Did I? That's when I knew. This wasn't neglect. This was deliberate. She wanted me there not as a sister but as a prop. Someone to stand next to her and make her shine brighter by comparison. I excused myself to the bathroom, stood in front of the mirror, and made a decision. If Emma wanted a performance, I'd give her one she'd never forget. The night before the wedding, I couldn't sleep. I lay in my hotel room staring at the ceiling, replaying every slight, every dismissal. Then I remembered something. 6 months ago, Emma had asked me to design her wedding invitations. I'd spent weeks on them, intricate watercolor florals that she gushed over. She never paid me, said it was a sister gift. But she'd also sent me all the wedding files to my email, every vendor contract, every timeline, every secret she didn't want guests to know. I opened my laptop. The files were still there. Venue contract, photographer agreement. And there, buried in a folder labeled Do Not Share, I found it. A thread of emails between Emma and Marcus's mother, Patricia. The messages were from 2 months ago. Patricia had concerns about the wedding budget. Emma's response was cold, calculated. She'd inflated vendor prices, pocketed the difference, and blamed unexpected costs when Patricia questioned the expenses. Nearly $30,000 redirected into Emma's private account. But that wasn't all. Another email, this one to the wedding planner. Make sure Harper's dress doesn't fit right. I want her to feel uncomfortable. She needs to know her place. I read it 3 times. The words didn't change. I took screenshots of everything, backed them up to 3 different places, and finally fell asleep with my phone warm in my hand. The wedding day arrived with the kind of sunshine that felt like an insult. Everyone moved in careful choreography. Makeup artists and hairstylists flowing through the bridal suite like a carefully directed play. Emma sat in the center, a queen holding court. When I walked in wearing the too large dress cinched with safety pins under a cardigan, she smiled. You look sweet, she said. The other bridesmaids giggled. The ceremony was outdoors. Rows of white chairs facing an arch wrapped in cream roses. I stood in my assigned spot, third from the left, holding a bouquet that was noticeably smaller than everyone else's. Emma walked down the aisle like she was floating, and Marcus looked at her like she'd invented light itself. I watched from the sidelines, the place I'd always occupied, and waited. The reception was held in a glass pavilion overlooking the vineyard. String lights hung like stars, tables dressed in silk and silver. Emma had spared no expense, and it showed. During cocktail hour, I found Patricia standing near the bar, her face tight with the kind of smile that doesn't reach the eyes. "Beautiful wedding," I said. She nodded. "Yes, very expensive." I paused, then said quietly, "I have something you should see." We stepped into a hallway away from the noise. I pulled up the email thread on my phone and handed it to her. Patricia's face went from confusion to shock to something that looked like cold fury. She read every word twice. "Where did you get this?" "Emma sent me the files months ago. I found them last night." Patricia's jaw tightened. "Does she know you have these?" I shook my head. "Not yet." Patricia straightened her dress, that expensive fabric rustling like warning bells. "Thank you, Harper. You've done the right thing." She walked back into the reception, phone already in her hand. I followed at a distance, my heart pounding so hard I thought people could hear it. Dinner service began. Plates of salmon and risotto were set down with practiced elegance. Emma and Marcus sat at the head table, glowing under the spotlight. Patricia appeared beside them, leaning down to whisper something in Marcus's ear. His smile faltered. He looked at his mother, then at Emma. "What's she talking about?" he asked. Emma's face went pale. "I have no idea." Patricia didn't sit down. Instead, she walked to the microphone, the one set up for toasts. The room quieted. "I apologize for the interruption," she said, her voice steady. "But there's something everyone should know." She pulled out her phone, projected it onto the screen behind the head table meant for the couple's photo slideshow. The emails appeared, line by line. Emma's words filled the room. "Inflate the costs. Pocket the difference. Blame me if anyone asks." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Marcus stood, his chair scraping loudly. "Mom, what is this?" Patricia's voice didn't waver. "Your bride has been embezzling from our family. Nearly $30,000. Emma jumped up, her face red. This is a misunderstanding. Harper, she must have." "I didn't write the emails, Emma," I said from my spot at the bridesmaid table. My voice was calm to calm. "You did." The room turned to look at me. I stood slowly, feeling the weight of every eye. "I have the original files. Timestamps, metadata, everything." Emma's mouth opened and closed. Tears started, the pretty kind she'd perfected. "This is my wedding," she whispered. "How could you?" I walked closer, my too big dress swishing around my legs. "How could I?" "Emma, you tried to humiliate me at every turn. The dress that didn't fit. The misspelled name. The toast where you forgot I existed. You wanted me here to feel small. So yes, I could." Marcus sat down heavily, his face gray. His mother placed a hand on his shoulder. Emma looked around wildly, searching for an ally. But the bridesmaids looked away. Our parents, sitting near the front, were frozen. My father's expression was unreadable. My mother had tears in her eyes, but I didn't know who they were for. Emma's voice cracked. "You've ruined everything." I shook my head. "No, Emma, you did that yourself." "I just made sure everyone could see it." Security approached quietly, whispered something to Patricia. She nodded. Emma was escorted out, still in her wedding dress, mascara streaking down her face. Marcus followed, his shoulders slumped. The reception dissolved into chaos, whispers and shocked faces. I walked out through the vineyard, the evening air cool on my skin. I didn't feel triumph. I felt something quieter. Relief, maybe. Or closure. When I got back to my hotel room, I took off the bridesmaid dress, threw it in the trash, and put on my own clothes. My phone buzzed with messages. Some angry, some supportive, most just confused. I turned it off. The next morning, I drove home through empty highways. My apartment smelled like coffee and silence. I watered my plants, opened my laptop, and started working on a design I'd been putting off. My hands didn't shake. For the first time in months, I felt like myself. Emma sent an email a week later. Long, rambling, full of accusations and apologies that contradicted each other. I read it once, then archived it without responding. Some bridges don't need rebuilding. Some distances are necessary. My parents called, eventually. The conversations were stiff, careful. They asked why I didn't come to them first. I asked why they never noticed when Emma was cruel. We didn't have good answers for each other. We agreed to talk again someday. Maybe we would. Maybe we wouldn't. I learned something that day at the vineyard. Family isn't just blood. It's the people who see you, really see you, and choose to be kind anyway. Emma never saw me. She saw a reflection she could control. But I'm not a reflection. I'm a whole person. And I don't need her permission to exist. If you've ever been made to feel small by the people who should lift you up, know this: you're not the problem. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stop shrinking yourself to fit their story. Stand up, take up space. Let the truth speak, even when it shatters everything. That's not revenge. That's freedom.